Hey all, so I'm just going to give you a quick tutorial on how to do these pumpkins. They'd be great if you string them up. You can use them as bunting for Halloween decorations or fall decorations. I just think they're really pretty. This is the same one. You can force it out and have them flat, but they also tend to curl and give this more 3D look, which I think looks really pretty, and I quite like them. So you don't have to force it flat. I mean, even if you accidentally force it flat, you can just do a little bit of manoeuvring and it's back to being curved, because it wants to. And the reason why it wants to curve, if you can see, if we've got slip stitches down creating the stripes or the sections in a pumpkin, and these slip stitches cause a bit of tension that causes the flat piece to curve. I think it looks really nice, so I'm hoping you lot do too. So I'm going to show you how to make these. So it's really simple. Obviously you want some orange yarn and some green yarn, which probably the wrong service to be using green, but never mind. And then you want a hook. Now I'm using DK weight yarn, so I'm using a 4mm hook. It will focus, there we go. So that's what I'm going to be using, but you may use any size hook and yarn you choose, and of course that will make different sizes. This one is, I haven't got, try this. So we're looking at around 9 centimetres across. When it's squished out flat, it's about 9 centimetres. So it's not huge, but it's not too small. And obviously it takes up a little less room when it's curved, but then you can see this sort of palm sized. So it depends on the size you want to make to which yarn and that you'll use, but we're going to just do the lesson with DK weight and a 4mm hook. So obviously you're going to start with your normal slip knot. I don't know how you lot create yours, but mine's always been just the twist, which I know a lot of people don't like. Okay, so we're going to start with a chain, which is 7 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Oop, there we go. So 7 chains, and then we're just going to work back down that chain. But first what we're going to do is do 2 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to do just 1 single crochet down until we get to the last stitch, and then we're going to leave that one for the minute. So just do 1 in each one down. Now these are American single crochets. If you're from the UK and you're using UK ones, this is a double crochet. And though I'm from the UK, I actually was taught with US terms, so I use US terms. So the last one, we're going to do 2 single crochets into it. And of course that means we've now increased our 6 stitches to 8. Then you want to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to increase again, doing the same thing. So we're going to put 2 in the first one and 2 in the last one, and then just 1 across the rest of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you need to make sure you get this last one down here. It can be a little tricky, you just have to find it down there. It is there, you just got to find it. So that's 8, 9, and 10. Chain 1 and turn. So now we have 10, and we're going to do the same thing again to increase to 12. So 2 in the first one, 1, 2, and we want 1 in the rest of them down, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 in that last stitch. So make sure you get both legs of that last stitch. 11 and 12. Chain 1 and turn. So we're building up slowly. I know it doesn't look like much now, but it will take its form, I promise. So again, we're going to increase. So 2 in the first one, so that's 1, 2, 1 along the rest of it, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I've just got to pull some more yarn a minute, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 2 in the last one makes 13 and 14. Chain 1 and turn. This is where we do something slightly different. We're just going to go 1 single crochet across the whole lot, no increases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 1 in the last one makes 14. Chain 1 and turn. So guys, now we've got up to 14. We're now going to do another increase row, so 2 in the first, 2 in the last to take it to 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, need to get some yarn. Where did I get to? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 in the last one, it's 15 and 16. Chain 1 and turn. And now we're just going to do 1 single crochet across, so no increasing, so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 1 in the last one makes 16. If I can get both legs up there. The last one don't want to go in, does it? There we go. 16. Chain 1 and turn. And now that's the first half done. We're going to be decreasing from this point onwards. So I'm going to decrease in these 2 stitches. So you're just going to go in like you normally would in the first stitch, and yarn over and pull through. But then before you finish off that stitch, you're going to go into the second one, yarn over, pull through. So you've got 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's just made 1 stitch with the 2. So just a normal decrease. So that's 1. Then you're going to do 1 single crochet across the whole strip until you get to the last 2 stitches. I'm just going to go straight across. If you're looking for a video on how to do single crochets, I do have one which I'll try to remember to link down below or in the iCard that shows you how to do a basic single crochet. This pattern is assuming you do know the basic stitches of crochet. Okay, so we're down to the last 2 stitches here. So again, go through, yarn over, pull through, go through the next stitch, yarn over, pull through for 3 stitches, and then yarn over and pull through all 3, and chain 1, turn. You now have 14 stitches. So we're going to do 1 single crochet across the whole lot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 1, and the last one makes 14. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now we're going to decrease again, but we're going to just decrease all the way down to 6 stitches by repeating the same 1 row, and that's the decrease row. There's no straight single crochet rows across this from now on. So as I said, go in the first one, yarn over, pull up, go in the second one, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over and go through 3 is your first decrease. 1 single crochet across until the last 2 stitches, so that makes your decrease stitches 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just get some more yarn a minute, sorry, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last 2 stitches left, so we're going to go in, yarn over, pull up, into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. That gives us 12 stitches. So you chain 1 and you turn, and again we're going to go down to 10 stitches, so decrease over the first 2 stitches, makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, now the last 2 stitches we're decreasing, so do your decrease over the last 2 stitches, makes 10 stitches, chain 1 and turn. Now down to 8 stitches. So normal decrease at the beginning, then 1 single crochet across the remaining stitches until the last 2. Last 2 stitches, do your decrease, chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now we're down to 8, I'm going to go down to 6. So decrease stitch, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease over the last 2 to make 6. And that there's your basic shape. This is the basic shape you're going to finish with on this bit. And now the next bit we're going to do, remember we had these slip stitch rows, that's what helps take it from that to that, by just putting slip stitches down. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so where we finished off, don't worry about chaining one, because what we're going to do is that last stitch that you went in, go back in it, yarn over and pull through both, so you slip stitch into there. Then we're going to slip stitch down this edge down to the bottom, so just follow the edge down. It doesn't really matter how many stitches you get in, just make sure it lies reasonably flat. So you're just going to go down each row, slip stitching along that edge. Okay, so we've slip stitched down that edge, so now we need to come back up. Oop, get back and come, we need to come back up. So what we need to do is on the edge one that we're on, I just need to go down one more, sorry. You want to, we finished off on the edge there, you want to go across one more, so slip stitch across the bottom stitch, the bottom chain, slip stitch into it. Now that's moved us across, so we're now in line to come up here. So again, it doesn't really matter where you're going, but try to keep a reasonable straight line. What I tend to do is start with, see these little holes? Start with just the one, so I'll go in there and leave that one plain, and then I'll go above it, leaving one, and then the next one above will actually leave two holes, and so you're going into the third until you get to the end here, and it will decrease the holes again. That's just because of the increase and decrease, and I like to have, you can see these two holes, in the middle I like to have two of them and go in the third, so these two would have slip stitches in, whereas at the top you'd have a slip stitch in there and there with just one there. But it doesn't really matter, as long as you've got it so you've created lines going up, as long as they're not going across, you're pretty good. No pumpkin is perfect, so it just adds to the effect if they're not quite straight. So we're just slip stitching into these stitches and going up. I'll show you the finished line when I've got up there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just following it up. Just going in each line into the hole that's there. So there we go. As you see, I've just slip stitched up and you've got the plain stitches there and it's gone up through. So it doesn't really matter. You can see it's roughly a straight line. It comes in slightly from there because of the way we shaped it, but the actual line itself is mostly straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. A little curve on it actually helps create the curve of the pumpkin. So having the little curve going across and not just going dead straight will help with the way it looks. Okay, so now we're at the top. We're going to slip stitch over 1, 2 stitches. Okay, and this is just going to line us up to do the next stitch. So we're now lined up in this line to go down here. Okay, so again we're just going to go down in the holes along the line. So start with 1 in between, but I will move slightly out so that there's 2 in between to help look like there's a curve. Should be going into the 3rd stitch along. It's pretty self-explanatory. When you're doing it, you'll see that the stitch kind of lies underneath where you want to go, so you just need to follow it along. So it's naturally reducing down into the next stitch. Oop, try not to get your tail end in the way. I have quite long tail ends for weaving in. So, and then slip stitch into that last stitch. And as you can see, we've started up here, we went out slightly and then we went back in, and that's going to help with the curving and giving the effects. So see, we start with just one gap, and that's kind of a 1.5 where you are, and then it moves into 2, and then you're into the third one, and then you decrease back down. I hope that's making sense. Let's move my tail end out of the way a minute. There we go. So again, we're at the top, so we're going to slip stitch across 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and then we're going to go back down through there. When you're finished, you'll have 6, including these 2 on the ends that you'll have 6 total done. If you've got 7 or if you've got 5, it doesn't really matter. Each pumpkin is individual. Even the 2 I've made are ever so slightly different. So again, slip stitch into the stitch next to where you are, and then just go on down. And honestly, there is no worries as long as you're not going majorly diagonal. This is going to look fine no matter where you end up putting your slip stitches. I'll show you the back in a second so you can see what the back looks like. It's pretty neat, so it doesn't matter if this is bunting and someone sees the back, it's not going to matter. Just trying to get into the top there again, so I'm back at the top. So you've got the next one. Can you see how it's coming along? But this is the back part. You really hardly see it. They're just straight lines. If you can sort of see the lines going up. There we go. That's all you see from the back. So from a distance, you don't really notice it very much. So the back will still look neat. You could go through and do this on the other side, but it's honestly not necessary. So we're at the top, so again we're going to slip stitch across 2 stitches, and we're going to work our way back down. So I'm going to go in and down. Remember, try to give a little curve and go out slightly, but it doesn't want to go too far. Ooh, I can find my yarn there. It was running away from me because I've got that one in the way. You'll mostly be able to do this from just feel. You'll see where it naturally wants to go. Okay, so we're into the last one again. So that's what we've got so far. So now we want to do the last one along there, and that is the same as we did at the beginning. So we're just going to slip stitch all the way around that edge. If you have any questions, please do put them in the comments, because I'm still a beginner on teaching tutorials, so I may not be doing it exactly how you lot need it, so just let me know and I can see if I can answer your questions or redo a video with clearer instructions if needed. So we've now reached the top again, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then you can see it has naturally started to curve as we've done it. So that's there. So you just want to fasten off as you normally would. There we go. So that's the pumpkin part finished. Now we're going to add the greenery up there. So just grab your green yarn. And you want to find roughly the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. Find roughly the middle and just pop your hook in so you can pull the green through. Pop your tail up the way. Yeah, single crochet there, and then you want to, sorry, you're going to chain one there, and then see the stitch next to where you went in, you want to single crochet into that stitch, so that just gives it a little base to hold on to. And now we're going to sorry, right, we're now going to chain 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then we're going to work our way, just single crochet all the way back down to the bottom. Obviously starting in the second chain from the hook. Just single crochet back down, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, my yarn, and 5. And then you want to just give it a little twist so that you can single crochet, so you can slip stitch into that one that you've first attached the green to. So you just want to make sure the yarn's behind you, go in, yarn over and slip stitch in, and then tie it off. So it's into the top there. So you've joined in the green here, you've single crocheted over to here, you've chained 6, then you've done 5 single crochets back down, and then you've rejoined by slip stitching into the first green you went into and then fastening off. And now all that's left is to weave in your ends, which I'm pretty sure I don't need to do on camera because you should know how to do that by now. But if you don't, it's literally just make sure you weave your green in through this and your orange in through this so you keep the colour. I do it from the back so nobody really sees it, and go backwards and forwards or up and down because that makes it more secure. So I will show you the finished item in a second. There we go, all the ends woven in. So this is the front and this is the back. So you can't really see any of the ends, but there you can see the slip stitch helping give the curves. So we now have 3 done because the other 2 are my testers. Ooh. But you can now hang these and they could be bunting, or you can just have them as on their own, attached to a bag for a applique, anything you like really, but I think they're really rather cool. So I hope you enjoyed this, and check back soon because there will be daily videos throughout all October for Vlogoween. So hopefully these will be really useful to you. Take care now, bye!